oh, I didn't see you there the whole of the internet. Oh, I'm just perusing some of my memories from my retail jobs and experiences. What was that? Oh, you'd like to hear them as well? Well, why don't you take a seat and we will have a look at some of my worst retail experiences of all time that still haunt me to this day and I still have nightmares about. Take a seat and we will enjoy together. So, I've not done a video like this before, but I thought today, let's just do something different. I just want to share some of my strange and not very nice retail experiences. And I'm not going to name any of the shops. I'm not going to name anyone's names because I don't want to be sued or arrested. I will take your mind back to when I was the younger bean of around 18. At this time, I was working in sort of a job where I was kind of just on my own all the time. So from about 16 to 18, I was at this very boring job where I was literally on my own 9 till 5 every day. And after a while, I kind of thought, wow, I wonder what people and interaction is like. I'm going to go on an adventure and explore the world of retail, the magical world of retail. So that's what I decided to do. I left that job and I applied for a variety of retail jobs. So my first retail job that I actually got after interviewing for loads of different places, it was just over Christmas, a Christmas temp. And this job was, you probably only understand what I'm saying in the UK, but it's a store with a very big book, a catalogue, if you will. The book is huge, it's massive, and you open it and they've got all the items in, and if you want the item, you go up to the till and you say, this is the number of the item I want, and they'll go, yes, okay, and they'll bring it down, you can have a look and you can buy it, enjoy. This shop was my first retail job. In this job, you have people that work on the tills and you have people that work in the warehouse. The warehouse, you have like a little headset on and you have to go and pick the items. So if someone says, oh, I want this microwave, it's this one, the person on the till will type it in, take their money, and then it will come down to the front. And you can also do it where you type in the number and they can view the item before they purchase it, because they have a lot of expensive items as well. So it'd be that you bring it down, you can have a look. My first strange experience was when I first joined this job, and I have to do like a training sort of thing, like you do with most jobs. And it was a supervisor, so he wasn't management, he was kind of below the management, who was sort of training me to do different things. I was on the computer and he showed me how to do something. Honestly, can't really remember what it was now. I was like filling out this form thing. And for some reason, he kind of gave me bad vibes, like my creepy man senses were tingling, but I just wasn't too sure, so I just let him, let him talk to me as he felt, because I was very, very awkward, by the way. This is going to help with the next story as well. I was awkward, very shy. The most I said was like, hello, and it would be like that. That's how bad my confidence was at this time, because I wasn't used to people in the outside world. I was used to being on my dang own. So I remember this man, he was about 50, a bald head. He was sat next to me and he said, oh, Ellie, what's your favourite type of music? And I can't remember what I said. I probably just said something general like, I love One Direction, even though I didn't. I just thought that's an easy answer, and he won't ask me that, oh, at the time I was listening to like heavy metal screamo, he won't ask. So, and he said, oh, I really like this song, it's called, don't remember what it was, something strange that I hadn't heard of, an older song. And I was like, okay. Right, I didn't really want a conversation with this random man, to be honest. I am shy, I don't want to interact with you. And he said, oh yeah, this song, it always makes me cry. And I was like, cool, I'm just going to go back to working now. And I was trying to fill this form out, and he plays this song, he gets it up on his phone, and he's like, oh, I'll just get it up and you can listen to it as well. And I was like, I'm trying to fill out this dang form. Do you not want me to work? Do you just not want me to work? Do you want me to just talk to you and be your friend? I'm getting confused now. And he got out his phone on the old Spotify and he said, oh, I'll play this song for you. And it was like a very sad, emotional song. And he's playing it and he's singing it, and I don't remember the song, but we'll just say it's like, every night in my dreams, and he's sitting there singing it, I see you, and crying. He starts crying, tears are coming down. I feel, how do I react to this? Please, can someone just tell me what I was supposed to respond to this man, this 50-year-old man? I'm shy. The most I've said is, because I don't like talking to people and I have no confidence at all. Why are you crying to me? What do I do? So I filled out my form and I went on my way and I said nothing. I thought that was the best response was nothing. I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to go and start doing my job. In this job, the men work in the warehouse and the women work on tills. Why is that? I don't know. But if you've got breasts, you better dang bet you're getting on them tills. You are not using the warehouse and getting the cool headset and finding the items, which I really wanted to do because, again, I just didn't have the social interaction skills. But anyway, I was on the tills. I had not very much training apart from that man who just sang to me and cried. That was as much training as I was getting. So I go on this till and I am freaking out. But I know I've got to do it. Something in my heart says, you've got to earn your confidence now, Ellie. You've got to start talking to people. You've got to start mingling and maybe even make a friend. Wow. So this is my second day, or maybe third, but I am still freaking out and like nearly having a panic attack every time I'm on the tills. But I think, you know what, you've got to do it, you've got to get on with it, and you've got to learn. So I did, and I kept going on the tills. And this is around Christmas time, so it was fairly busy as well, which didn't really help. So this woman comes up to the tills, and you know when they say, like in the memes, where it's, her name's Karen, and she's got a short blonde bob cut, and she wants to speak to your manager. That's who this woman was, like really, that's who that woman was. She looked exactly like that meme. So she's also kind of posh looking. She looks like she's got some of that money as well. And she walks in with her little, you know, they have them little silk scarves. She had a little silk scarf on, therefore in my brain she was rather posh. She comes up to the till and she gets this flyer out and she goes, kablam, in front of me. And she says, this kettle, I want to buy it. And I said, oh, okay. And I get the little order number up and I tap it in and I'm like, yes, we have 3 of these in stock. And then I realise that in the flyer, it is on offer for £30, but on my screen it is £40. I look at her and I say, well, in here it's £30 and it's on offer, but on my screen it says it's £40. And she's kind of like, well, I will be buying it for that price because that's what's in the flyer and you can see it is on offer. So I said, well, all right then, I don't know what to do. I will get the kettle brought down and you can have a good old look at it and just make sure that you want it. I will speak to my manager because I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to ask, it's my second day at this job. Gonna go and ask her. So I go up to her, show the flyer, and I say, this is on offer in the flyer, but it's not on the screen. It's £10 more now for some reason. I don't know what's happening. Help me. And she looks at it and she goes, and she looks at the bottom and she says, well, it's like 4 years out of date. This was like Black Friday in like 2014. So it's not that price anymore. The sale stopped. It's £10 more now. So if she wants it, she'll have to pay more for it. It's an old flyer. And I said, well, okay, that's awkward. Looks like I've got to go and tell her that she's got to pay more. And she already was giving me the hibby-jibbies. She was giving me fair because she was a posh lady. She had asserted dominance with me. And I will say again, I am an anxiety-ridden, very, very shy, small, with a fleece on me that is like 10 times too big for me. It is huge. It's like a long dress on me. I just don't look good at all. I go up to her with the flyer, my hands doing this. I can't stop shaking. It's dramatic. It's all in black and white. The storm is outside. It's heavy raining. I go up to her. She's looking at the kettle and she's holding a little receipt. You get a little receipt if you're just reviewing something even. You get a little receipt with a number on it. So she's holding a little receipt, looking at the kettle. She seemed quite happy. So I walk up to her and I say, I'm really sorry, I just spoke to a manager. This is like 4 years out of date, so I can't give you that offer. But you can still have it. It's only £10 extra. It's a nice kettle. And I just give her a smile, like, ah. And she looks at me, and the way she looks at me is like, I have killed everything she loved. I have just killed her whole family, her dog, her hamster. I've just took them all from her. And she looks at me, and I look at her like, I don't know what. And she just goes, all right then. And she gets this receipt, and she's ripping it all up, shredding it in her little hands. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. And she gets it into thing and she throws it in my face, this receipt, all this paper, like snow, but bad snow, not fun snow. She throws it into my face and she's just like, you can stick your kettle then, and storms out of there. And I'm like, oh, Why? Why? It's a kettle. It's not even that. It's only £10. It's not like I said, oh, do you want this kettle for 20? Well, nowadays it's £200. And you'd be like, whoa, that's a crazy price jump. No, £10. It's not that much of a price difference, but bloody hell, she was absolutely fuming. From there, I knew I had made a mistake. Retail was not what I thought it was. And after this, very shortly after this, the carrier bags became a thing. If you're not in the UK, I don't know if this is everywhere, if it's just a UK thing. It probably is just a UK thing. It was a couple of years back to stop the waste of plastic and people buying too many carrier bags and it all ruining the earth for our children. They brought in that you would have to pay now for carrier bags in order that people would think, oh, I've got to pay for it, therefore I'll just start bringing my own and stop harming the planet. That came in the next day. I will tell you, it was 5p for a little carrier bag and 10p for a very big carrier bag. When that day came, it was chaos. It was like the building had been set on fire because everyone would come in. Do you need a carrier bag today? Oh yeah, I'll have one please. And then it was like, oh, it's 5p now, and just so you know, but that's just what the world is doing now. It's the whole of the UK is doing this, not just this shop. And he's like, are you kidding me? I've got to pay 5p for a bag. Are you joking? Do you know how much money I've spent in this shop? I've just brought this and you're not even going to give me a carry bag to go with it. Oh God, it was manic. People were fuming. Luckily, the general public seemed to have adjusted to the 5p bag and they're just bringing their own bags. Who knew it was so easy? It wasn't that long till I left that job or I was fired. Maybe that will be another story for another time. So my next job, I fell into a job of budget. How do I describe this job without saying the name? Everything in this shop is very, very, very cheap and it's all to £1. Did I just give it away? I might have. Very, very cheap. It's a cheap shop. But I would tell you, in this job, it is crime central. I am stopping people all the time because everybody is just stealing stuff constantly. I'm not even joking. Constantly stealing stuff. And not even like I'm a child and I'm just taking a chocolate bar and I'm going to walk out with it. This is like adults getting the shelf, pouring the shelf into the basket, going with the basket. I had the interview. It was a group interview. I kind of hate group interviews, but I kind of seem to do well on them, weirdly enough. And I would say that my manager came up to me in that group interview and said, hi. And I was like, hello, I wanted to take you outside and talk to you. And I said, okay then, that's fine. And she looked at me when we were outside and she said, you know what, Ellie? You look like you've got common sense. Right. You look like you've got common sense. Therefore, I'm wondering if you'd want to be a supervisor. And I would tell you what I said. I said, no, I don't want to be a supervisor. I don't want that responsibility. I've got to have keys. I've got to do the money. I've got to run the shop. If anyone's got a problem, it is my problem to solve it. I was not ready for that. But then she told me my pay would rise. And then I considered it and I thought of all the pig plushies that I could buy with this money, all the Krispy Kremes and all the strange My Melody merchandise, and I said, yes, I will give it a good go. So I became a supervisor. So as I said, this job was crime central and I became supervisor. Again, please take a look at me. This is what I look like. I am running the shop with one other member of staff on an evening and it is just this. This is the human. Do you think you could steal from this human? You could definitely. But I did have a few experiences when I ran after people and said, no, you put that thing back. And they'd be like, all right. And it actually works sometimes, which shocks me. And sometimes it just didn't work at all. And they'd be like, yeah, no, I'm going to take this. And I'd be like, well, I'll just go and phone the police. Bye. So we had this man that came in and he stole quite a lot, quite often. And he was quite a big man and I had seen him before. And he had seen me, and he had just ran. But it's fair enough. Again, I look like this. This is what I look like. You could, if you're a big man, you could just smack me out the way. It doesn't matter. I am like a feather. That's the strength I have. A simple feather. So I can't stop anyone. But I can say, I saw you do it, and I'm going to ring the police, which I hope would kind of scare them a little bit at least. So this man, he stole quite a lot. And then one day, he was back in the shop, and I thought, oh no, here we go. But I saw him as he was stealing the things. So as he stole the things, I turned around one of the aisles and I went, oh God, no, put it back. Ah, stop. And he was like, bye. And he ran out with this basket filled with random stuff, shampoos, conditioners, all the rest. So he ran out the shop and I was going, no, please, I'm going to call the police. I know who you are. I'm going to get you. Look at these muscles. I'm going to beat you up, lad. And he ran out kind of laughing like, yeah, whatever. And then as I turned around the corner, there was a man and a woman on the till being served by one of my colleagues. And he turned around and he was like, oh, and he saw that it's stolen because I was going, put it back! Oh my gosh, put it back! Why do you have to do this to me? I'm going to ring the police. I'm going to tell on you. And he runs out and this man kind of goes and runs straight after him. He legs it like this, running. And I can see the man out the window. He's running like, oh, what the hell? Because this random man is running after him all of a sudden. And I'm standing there like, he shouldn't be doing that. Why is he running after him? Don't run after him. And the woman that's with him was like, oh, he does this all the time. And I was like, sorry, he does this all the time. What is he doing exactly? She said, oh, he used to be in the police and he just runs after people still. Yeah, he'll probably get him. So the shop that I work at is in like a retail park and it's right next to a fairly busy road for like a town. It's not really a city, it's only a small town. So was quite a busy hour actually as well. I think it was like 3 o'clock when all the kids coming out. He runs down, the policeman runs after him. I don't see them, they are gone. I don't know where they've gone. A few minutes later, the policeman comes back, he has the basket with the things in, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much that you brought them back. And he said, that's okay. He dropped the basket, ran across the road, and then his leg kind of got ran over by a car, but I'm sure he's all right. And I was like, well, all right, I'll just take the goods, and thank you very much for doing that. He will not come back again now because he knows that you got him. And that's what's important. So that's one of my first criminal stories. I have many others where I've stopped people. A man tried to steal a whole basket of Kinder eggs, which was an interesting one, but I managed to stop him and say, look, can you put them Kinder eggs back? And he did. So that was me being the dominant female. Honestly, that's all I wanted to say for today for my stories of retail, but I will not even lie, I have so many more, a lot more. So if you are interested and you did enjoy this video, I know it's slightly different, but I really wanted to record it, so I did. Please leave me a thumbs up and tell me if you worked in retail, what your worst stories was, or your worst customers, worst experience with the general public. Then please let me know down below and we'll have a laugh together. And I just want to say that even though I've had some strange things happen in retail, I've had some really horrible customers, I've had some really lovely ones too, and I've had a lot of good memories as well as the bad memories, and I really do think it helped me from becoming a very shy girl that couldn't really talk to anyone to someone who was chasing after men who stole a load of Kinder eggs and you know, standing up for myself more. So I really do thank retail in a funny way because it helped me grow so much as a person. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, your night, your evening, whatever time zone you're in. Remember to stay hydrated, get plenty of sleep, and love yourself always. Goodbye.